Hello and welcome to another episode of Scott Reads Comics. Today I would like to cover The Mighty Thor, issue 390, published in 1988 by Marvel Comics. It had only been 10 issues since the departure of Walt Simonson with issue 380, which I have also covered on the show. You can look it up. And Marvel and the creators of Thor were just sort of starting to find their way with this post-Simonson era of the Mighty Thor. And I can think of few better examples of the epic DeFalco Friends run on Thor than this issue, very early on in their tenure on the title. We have Avengers Assemble, guest featuring the Captain. We have a wonderful Friends and Brett Breeding cover, and we will see Brett Breeding finishes on the artwork in this, and they're tremendous. The Hero and the Hammer. On Hydro Base, the island headquarters of Earth's mightiest heroes, a heart-stirring battle cry suddenly shatters the afternoon stillness. Avengers Assemble! A tale destined to become a magnificent milestone in the new age of Marvel Comics. Gloriously written by Tom DeFalco, gorgeously broken down by Ron Frenz, gracefully finished by Brett Breeding, gallantly lettered by Jack Shield, glowingly colored by Christy Morelli. Actually, I think they got those transposed there. It should be Christy Shield and Jack Morelli, but we'll move on. Grotesquely edited by Ralph Macchio, galvanically presented by Stan Lee. So we have the Avengers in the background on this cool splash page with a very classic looking Thor that we're returning to here. We have a really nice callback to the first modern appearance of Captain America here. Let's get right to it. Thor's come back to the Avengers. He wants to rejoin the ranks, but he doesn't quite recognize this figure in the background of this panel. I also possess some startling information about the Celestials, which must be added to our files. But first, who is this stranger who stands among us? His costume appears very familiar, but I have never seen it before. If you'd like to learn my identity, you could always throw your hammer and try to conquer me. Odds blood! Only one mortal can dodge my ricocheting hammer with so little effort. Captain America, you have dramatically altered your appearance. So have you, Thunder God. The last time we met you were wearing armor and sporting a full beard. But we can discuss our new looks later, old friend. Right now, Captain Marvel put me in charge of clearing away the debris caused by our recent battle with the Super Adaptoid. Let's move it, people. Real quick word on the artwork here. I love this Ron Frenz, Brett Breeding run on this long run of Thor that DeFalco wrote. Tremendous, classic Marvel House style artwork, very Bronze Age. Totally up my alley as a fan. Still on newsprint, which is great. And I was watching Cartoonist Kayfabe the other day, and they were talking about the challenge of just a sort of like a 4-panel page arrangement and how it could be difficult. And Kirby was one of those artists who could pull that off pretty easily, and I really think Ron Frenz is another one. He's just so in the classic mold of the Marvel artists. So Cap quickly warms to the task of running the cleanup, and we get a nice little cutaway here of what Hydro Base looks like, which is going to pay off later. It's an artificial island, very cool. And again, we get a nice sense of the scale here with this panel. So the other Avengers go their own ways, and Cap and Thor have some discussions about what's been going on in Thor's absence, and Cap's going to let him in on that stuff. Meanwhile, in Asgard, at that precise moment, an unimaginable distance away, in fabled Asgard, home of the Norse gods, a grim battle rages on. Fight on, my friends, fight on! Strike down these savage invaders and make them pay for the innocent lives they have slaughtered. So these weird snake troopers have, love this Kirby crackle here in the corner of this panel and here in this panel, have invaded Asgard, and they're being driven out by the Warriors 3. Great panel here with Volstagg. And do not forget the gallant girth of invincible Volstagg. The mere sight of my noble bulk fills these knaves with terror. Aye, and just think what a few blows of thy sword could do. So a little bit of comedy there from normally the grim Hogan. But these troops who turn out to be the servants of Seth, the Egyptian god, so we have sort of a cross-pantheon war going on. They're driven away to be left with the Warriors 3 in the wake of the violence. And the current king of Asgard, since at this point in the continuity, Odin is out of the picture, is Balder the Brave. And of course, at this point too, Asgard, the Rainbow Bridge is still shattered, and Asgard is still technically severed from Earth, from Midgard, so Thor cannot easily get back. Where is Asgard's favorite son? Where is the mighty Thor? Never had we greater need of him than now, but we know not if he still lives. So all this is being watched by the evil Seth, the serpent god of death. I love his little toad, literally toady servant here. Really great. Looks like almost a deviant character. When do you intend to launch a full-scale invasion? Soon, but I am not ready yet. Go, you are dismissed for now. I wish to be alone. So Seth wants revenge on Thor. He blames him for the loss of his hand. And he's going to send Grog, the Godslayer, which is classically designed. I love this character. I love the arm and leg armor on him. So classic Marvel. Meanwhile, back on Earth, Thor is enraged by the tale of Captain America, or in this case, the Captain, Steve Rogers. The story behind how the government has replaced him with John Walker, and he has now taken on the role of the Captain. And also how he's sort of betrayed by Iron Man during the what amounts to, I guess, the Second Armor Wars. Cap explains to Thor that Thor can't just rush off and fix things with violence. They have to respect the democracy of the country and the leadership. And Thor is wrestling with the idea. He thinks to himself, I have never known a mortal as honorable and noble as Captain America, and yet I have always numbered Iron Man among my closest friends. How can these two be in conflict? One of them is obviously wrong, but which one? Has Iron Man once again fallen victim to drink? Or does the fault lie with the Captain? Has he changed, gone mad? Worse, is that why the government was forced to renounce him? I am so confused. What good is all my power against the shadows of uncertainty? Does the god of thunder truly belong on a world that hath such so complex and devious? Lost amid the swirling sea of his own conflicting emotions, the son of Odin fails to notice the dimensional warp opening behind him. Until kaboom! So suddenly Thor is beset by an invasion force from Heliopolis and Seth. Nevermore need you suffer the pains, the frustrations, or the uncertainties of life. My illustrious Lord has instructed me to bestow on you the ultimate gift of peace and tranquility, the gift of death. Only a fool, a weakling, or a coward would willingly accept your vile offer. However, your arrival is most fortuitous. Thor presently hath need of the total distraction and the physical exhilaration from which only grim combat doth provide. What? You dare spurn my master's generosity? Never before have I beheld such a pompous arrogance from so puny and insignificant a flea. Look around you, Odinson. You are completely surrounded. Your cause is hopeless. Then suddenly, quang! That's what you think, mister. I hope you don't mind me joining the party, Thor. You could easily handle these clowns yourself, but I need the exercise. Your presence is most welcome, Captain. Together, then, we shall fight. For victory, for glory, Avengers assemble. So we're going to be treated to some awesome battle scenes here as our two characters go at it with this invasion force. But they are soon joined by the Black Knight, who's always sort of around the headquarters. I think it's pretty much his home at this point. And so he joins the fray as well. Suddenly, the Avenger's eyes grow wide with unexpected wonder as he turns to see. The proud heroes stand firm against the savage onslaught of overwhelming odds. Stand firm and push it back, back, back. With raw courage, grim determination, they shatter its momentum and crush its spirit. 'Tis a battle which will surely give birth to legends. But then, thabam! My unexpected attack has separated Thor from his magic hammer. Ugh, something is wrong. I can't seem to lift the cursed thing. Fool, only someone who would be worthy as Thor himself may possess mine enchanted mallet. But they have Thor pinned here, and so Grog is blasting him. 'Tis no matter. I have other far deadlier weapons at hand, like the power lance. Hold him down, my faithful legions. A few more blasts will surely finish him off. So Thor is in terrible pain being held down and blasted. And here comes one of the coolest moments in Marvel Comics history. And I'm almost shocked that it took this long for this to happen, but here we go. That scream. I've never heard Thor cry out before. He must be in incredible agony. He needs his hammer. Somehow, I've got to find a way to move it, to get it to him, or him to it. But how? How? If a big bruiser like Grog couldn't do it, what chance will I have? Still, I've got to try. Death to the mortal! We'll crush him with our superior numbers. For a seemingly eternal moment, the captain is buried beneath the savage, squirming horde, and then, we can't hold him. How can this be? He is only one, while we are many. I've got a flash for you, mister. There's plenty one man can do, if he's the right man. Kapwhack! This is almost unbelievable. Somehow, I'm able to lift Thor's hammer, while other far stronger than I could never budge it. This is phenomenal. What a full-page spread or full-page panel action scene this is. It's absolutely incredible. And of course, this is what we got in the Marvel Cinematic Universe when Chris Evans' Captain America was able to briefly wield Thor's hammer. Super, super cool. That scene in the movie is definitely a callback to this. That's why this issue is among the most sought after, probably the most sought after of the DeFalco Friends run. Totally awesome. I've never wielded such limitless power before. It's almost intoxicating. But this hammer rightfully belongs to Thor, and he needs it a lot more than I do. Heads up, Avenger. I've got a special delivery winging its way toward you. My hammer. Away from me, vermin. None may separate the god of thunder from his sacred Uru hammer. None may prevent mighty Mjolnir from returning to its master's hand. Behold the power and the glory of the son of Odin. Woe to those wicked enow to deserve my righteous retribution. Just awesome. The dialogue and the artwork completely in support of one another. The synergy on this title with these creators is impressive. So at this point, the battle turns and Thor utterly defeats Grog, the self-named God-slayer. I say thee nay. Call thyself what you will, braggart. A foe by any other name would be just as defeated. So devastatingly powerful, so undeniably forceful is the Thunder God's blow that Grog is driven completely through Hydrobase and into the dark ocean below. What an incredible panel. And that's the payoff from that earlier setup panel where we saw the sort of superstructure of Hydrobase in a cutaway. This is incredible. And then, looks like we sprung a leak. This entire island will sink unless we plug it. Meanwhile, the villains run away, and Thor does his thing, utilizing his incredible powers. And this is one of those scenes where you realize just how powerful Thor can be when wielding his hammer. He uses their crazy tank and some magical lightning to melt a patch for the hole, much to the awe of the Black Knight. It melted all that debris and completely sealed the hole. Of course, that was obviously his plan from the beginning. But that is scientifically impossible. Not for a Thunder Guard, the captain says, smiling. Sometime later, I'll drop Grog off at the vault, the government installation designed to hold superpowered criminals. Then I'll fly to Los Angeles and finish my business with Iron Man. I owe you an apology, Captain. When you first spoke to me about your problems, I had doubts about you. They were quickly erased when you lifted Mjolnir, for only a man of God-worthy, pure of heart, and noble of mind could have done so. It was quite an experience for me too, Thor. That is one special weapon. I envy you. A sacred bond unites all those who have ever been privileged to wield Mjolnir. A bond which stretches far into infinity. I salute you, Captain. I hope I'll always be worthy of that honor and privilege, my friend. What a fantastic panel here. Totally awesome. And, of course, they're being watched by the evil Seth in the background here. And next issue, we get a blurb. Thor battles a dynamic new supervillain side by side with the amazing Spider-Man. Don't miss next issue. So I think that's going to be the debut of Mongoose, a really cool villain, in an issue I may cover on this show. I'd like to delve more into this run. I have a few other issues planned to cover. But wow, yeah, what a great one to start off with, covering this run. Thor 390, Cap wields Thor's hammer for the first time, setting an incredible precedent that would later be paid off in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like and subscribe, tell your friends, and I'll bring you more soon on Scott Reads Comics. Thanks for watching.